Hello, hello. Hopefully you do hear me, you do see me. Please write down something, a plus or anything, just to let me know that you see me. That would be great. And the first question for you is, how are you feeling today? Where are you from? Or maybe where do you live? A few things. Okay, now I see that you are here. Great. Okay, while you're answering me, a few things to mention. A few things to mention. First of all, I have my notes here. I have my chat right here. So I also have a cup of water. So don't mind me looking away somewhere. I'm just in my notes anywhere, probably. The next thing, don't want to be rude here, but please keep your questions to yourself until the very end of the conference, unless I ask you something particular. If I don't ask you anything, please do not write down anything, just because that would make me a bit more nervous. Hope you understand me. We have 1 hour. Hopefully we managed to cover everything I've created for you today. And I would like you to be Odessa, Khmelnytsky, Kharkiv. Nice to meet you guys. Great. Be active, please, because whenever you're active, you get more information, you gain more knowledge. So please, that would be great. So I believe we would start off with introduction. My name is Julia, if you wish, Bеспятова Юлія. I am a teacher of English. I have experience of approximately 5 years. I love teaching teenagers and adults, but also I have experience teaching all age groups. So probably I might be in handy for you. I might know something. And I help teachers with improving their methodology, with their approaches, with making them feel a bit more confident. And I'm also an author of educational programs such as this one, webinars, different courses for students, for teachers. Yep, that's it. Great. Now, I want you to look at the topic here. You see, crucial webinar for teachers considering quitting. Probably you are here for a reason. This topic is complicated. I don't actually know how to start this one, and therefore we're gonna go just to the plan. You can look at this one. We're gonna discuss discontent today, community, managing stress, professional development, well-being, and your roles. Well, our roles. Which roles do we take? First of all, my goal is to obviously to keep you all in your jobs, of course, but what I want even more from you is that you all decide to be happy in what you're doing. There are thousands actually of webinars considering how to improve teaching, how to make your students fall in love with the language, how to make your students more comfortable. But now I want you to appreciate the moment. Let's take a moment and speak about ourselves. Enough to think about everyone else. Please, about you, about teachers. So the first thing, challenges that we as teachers have. I believe that everyone as a teacher thought about quitting. I did as well. Many of my colleagues did, and actually that's the reason of this webinar right now, because I see this tendency and I don't want this to happen. Please let me know if you faced that as well. Okay. Khmelnytsky, we have a lot of people from Khmelnytsky, Donetsk region, great. Okay, I see almost 100 people here. I'm blessed, thank you guys. So let me know, please, if you have had this thoughts. Okay, I see at least one person did have it. I suppose there were many, actually. So, because of the fact that we as teachers are creative species, we need inspiration. If we're not inspired, we're not productive. And as rude as it might sound, we're not the best teachers. Most of us think like this. So what steals our inspiration? There are many, I see a lot of teachers face this. I see that there are many challenges that teachers encounter, which are diverse student abilities, and you never know what to do with your students in this situation. Should you be sticking to the simpler tasks or to more complicated ones? Should you be doing, what should you do in this case? I believe that it's a hard question, and actually nobody tells you what choices to make, and to be honest, there is not one correct answer to this one as to any other questions that we have. So we don't know what to do with that. Also, there's large class sizes, especially that is for school teachers, but for other teachers as well, for group teachers who teach individually, or, well, we have group lessons as well. So sometimes it might be a problem. Assessment. We don't want our students to feel ashamed. We don't want any negative emotions. So whenever we see a negative student, we think that we've done something wrong with that, so that steals our energy. And engagement of students. I know that everyone has faced this, the fact that sometimes people don't want to learn, and that's completely fine. We can't do anything with that, that's it. But we're creative, we're sensible, we're sensitive. So yeah. So first of all, from one point of view, you have power to make your students fall in love with the language, or I think that you teach languages here. But from the other side, from the other point of view, you are extremely responsible, and probably you have lots of questions in your head, at least sometimes. So why are we discontented? We have huge workload. We lack support. This salary actually is not the highest for many people, and there is lack of recognition. I believe a lot of teachers struggle here. Plus, there's discipline and behavior issues from the students. We all know that we're not parents, but still, sometimes need to, we are supposed to somehow figure out what to do with this, but we should not actually. And there's high expectations from the students of different age groups, from the parents as well. We are supposed to teach them for free, for a second, from A1 to C2 for a month, and for no money at all. Yeah, that happens sometimes, right? Have you faced with any of that? Have you ever had these problems coming up to your head? So high expectations, needing to assess discipline, behavior, engagement. I am waiting for your pluses. Yes, true. Great. So the first step, not to lose motivation, not to lose your inspiration, would be community. You can take a look at the photo on the right. What do you see there? Yes, you face that, of course. You see there a group of superheroes. Of course, each and any of you is a superhero on your own. But when working as a team, you are well, nobody can fight you. You are the best. So being in the community which supports you is the best experience ever. And now I want you to take a closer look at people, teachers surrounding you. Answer questions, not to me, for yourself. Are those teachers, is your community interesting, supportive? Are they of your age? Can they speak to you without criticizing you? Can they provide you with a positive, or maybe not positive, just constructive feedback? Answer that in your head. Those questions are to be answered not only here on the webinar, but also after it as well. I think that you will need some time thinking about that. So everybody will agree with me that a strong community, supportive community, helps a lot. In situations, in times when you feel depressed, it is necessary to have at least one person to whom you can tell everything. I know that there are students who sometimes gossip about teachers. And I believe personally that that's completely fine if teachers sometimes gossip about students. It's fine. Nobody should know that, but we as teachers know that. Yeah, because sometimes there are such students that we do not want to work with. And that's the hard truth. But the least we can do with that, if not stopping the lessons, would be discussing that with someone just to ease our pain, you know. So teachers can collaborate and share their ideas, experiences, and the best practices, what to do in each situation. You might notice opportunities for professional development while being in the group of supportive teachers. Moral and emotional support also are important for you. And I believe teaching is a demanding profession. We face various stresses and stressors, and community provides support, as I've mentioned 1 million times, you know it. You receive encouragement, you seek advice. That's just a great thing to do. So when felt connected and valued, you're more likely to stay in the profession and, community will make you feel more positive, and you will therefore have this more positive impact on your students. Going to the next one. Working techniques, stress management. I am sorry, I'm really this old-fashioned lady, as I might not seem to be such, but still I need notes. Time to think about yourself. How do you manage stress in such difficult circumstances? Do you guys have any ideas, any, life hacks how you manage stress being a teacher? I'm waiting for your answers in the chat. Power of superheroes, right? Yes, we are. I will let you know my techniques of managing stress after you are done with being active in the chat. Relax and start over. May help, but that leads burnout if you start over again and again and again. Listen to music, great. Hobby, dancing, wow. Chocolate, amazing. But again, that also leads to some interesting consequences. Breathing and count to 10, sometimes it helps. Yeah, that's such a great exercise. I actually know this technique. My psychologist told me about this, and I believe that everyone knows it. Like the technique of the square. So you need to start breathing, counting to 4, stop your breathing to 4, trying to breathe out to 4, Stop in it and like make a few circles about that. Thinking about something good, nature, relaxing, preparing a job beforehand to relax the whole class. Well, that's great. Breathe deeply. Yeah, we are superheroes actually. We have so many life hacks. Okay, about the ones that I have. The first one would be, well, not that obvious, but still time management. If we don't want to stress that much, we need to set realistic goals and prioritize our responsibilities. We need to buy a planner. That helps, I would tell you. You just see what you have to do and that's it. Why do students have their diaries and we don't? I believe that's not fair. We should have something like that. And you won't feel so overwhelmed when you see everything that you need to do. I tend to forget so much, but when I have everything written down, that's just amazing. It works 100%. I cannot say that I take everything on the list, but still it's many things. Next one, setting boundaries. Setting boundaries, firstly, between work and your personal life, and that's the most important actually. You need to stop working overtime. I know that's challenging sometimes, but at least you need to start to create a habit of finishing work in the particular time, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, but just you need to stop doing everything by that point. And then you will have me time. So setting boundaries here. Also, setting boundaries with people. I don't know which group category you have, age groups you have still. You need to do that with all of them, with parents, with students of young age, with adults who are learning. So please, talk through your rules. Do not let screaming happen. Do not let some unsaid peculiarities happen. You need to speak all the time and set boundaries. And it would be better if you do that at the very first lesson or before that even. Next one, you have to encourage students' autonomy. Please empower them to take responsibility for their learning. You are not the God. I told you that you are a superhero, but you are not the God. You cannot make a student learn everything unless they want that, truly. So they have to do some of the exercises on their own. You have to sometimes just sit in silence while they are doing some of the work. You don't need to jump around and you don't need to be the clown. Just sit down and breathe. That's it. If possible, reduce time spent on checking homework. Give them those tests and then ask them to count the amount of correct answers. That would be so pleasing if you get rid of this kind of exercise yourself that takes so much time, I can imagine. Just ask them to make something on their own. Next one, practice self-care. Lots of you have written down a lot of self-care routines here. Reading books, I see coffee in cozy places, meeting with friends, music, animals. We all know that, but sometimes we forget to do that. So practice self-care. Practice writing down a journal. Practice breathing. Practice doing something that you like. Next one, incorporate humor and fun activities in your lesson. Someone has written down that I would just find this. Prepare a joke beforehand to relax the whole class. Yes, you will relax the whole class, you will relax yourself, and just it will make the atmosphere of the year of the class more pleasant for everyone. So the more relaxed and enjoyable learning environment is, the better results students have, the more comfortable you feel, and just that's a good thing to do. And the last one here would be reflecting and learning from your mistakes. So sometimes we tend to dwell on our mistakes, but you need to use them as learning opportunities. Well, we all the time tell the students, don't forget to make mistakes. Make mistakes, it's okay. It's fine if you make mistakes. I won't tell you anything about that. It's okay. You learn by making mistakes, but we forget that about ourselves. Teachers also should make mistakes. It's fine. Next one. Yeah, do you agree that we should make mistakes? Someone told about different ways which do not help. I hope that the ways that I've told you about will help you. Oh, that's so cute. Cartoons, listening to children's songs, comics, reading books. Great. Okay, I see your pluses now. Great. The next thing would be reconnecting with passion. So why did you enter, guys? Why did you initially enter the profession? Could you please tell me that? I remember me, I didn't want to enter this profession. That was fun. My mom always used to tell me, you should become a teacher. I'm like, no way, I will not. Here I am, being a teacher. It just happened. I just knew I didn't want to have exams in math, and I'm like, okay, I will have exams in English. And I turned out to be here a teacher. I started teaching on the first course of university just to have some money, some pocket money. Then I started doing that more and more. I can say that I fell in love with the language. And with teaching as well, with my students, I love them. Some may piss me off, of course, but usually I love it. What's your passion? Why did you enter teaching? I don't see your answers. Everybody's thinking, like everybody's having existential crisis. Why the hell did I do this? That's my strength. I've been teaching since my childhood. I adore English. That's great. That's a good thing. Everyone else is probably really having an existential crisis. I don't want that anymore. Hate kids and teens and adults. Love screaming. Really nothing? Okay. Well, I believe that for me it's a real pleasure. Great. Teaching someone. Do you still feel that you truly can help someone? Because I feel like the ones listening to this, I wanted to say podcast, the ones listening to this webinar and watching this probably have some problems and probably have strong feelings about teaching, either good ones or bad ones. Do you still feel like you can help? I wanted to be like my first teacher. That is so great. Truly, I believe that there are obviously many good teachers, but there are also many bad teachers, and you just don't want other children to be hurt. You want them to have great teachers. I have become a teacher of English a year ago at the age of 37. Well, it's great. Good job. Yes, but not always. You don't always feel like you can help. Yes, that happens. Yes. So what I want you to remember now is the eyes of those who understood. Who understood the, like, I don't know, present perfect. Or who understood how to build usual sentence, the eyes of those who started speaking. Probably your students don't tell you much about the way they feel about their learning process. I know many students don't like this, many students need this because their parents told them, many students do it just because everyone in 21st century needs to know English or know any other language, whatever language you're teaching. But still, there are some who know why they're here and who appreciate your work, but they don't say it. You can read everything by their eyes. I want you to remember that. When you have a feedback, it brings a lot of joy. I do agree with that, right? But you don't have the feedback all the time. You might ask your students to do so, but it doesn't always work. Okay. So please also have good relationships with your students. Don't be evil. Don't scream at them. I know sometimes you want to. I know sometimes, especially children, they might be irritating. I know. But don't scream at them. Don't be evil. Really. You want them to have good relationship with you. They need your support. Sometimes, you are their only support. Especially if we're talking about kids or teens. But adults as well. They come to your lessons because, well, the first thing, yes, probably they want to learn. But the second thing, if you are a good teacher, they come to your lessons for comfort. They want to listen to your stories. They want to see your kind smile. They want you to help them and support them. You are their role model. And you see a lot of stories, and even in the chat right now, that children sometimes want to become teachers just because they have good memories of teachers from the past. I mean, ex-children. We're not children anymore, probably. And so we want to take steps of our good teachers. Nobody wants to become a teacher of math because, well, I don't want to offend anyone, but I personally had bad experience with math teacher. Some of them, not all of them. Okay. Mustn't shout at them. To be like a good friend, right? Well, still, you are a teacher, but it would be so great to be friends. Sometimes speak with them. What do they want? What do they like? How are they? Don't be just a teacher. Of course, it's your work, but we'll talk about that later as well. Best friend. Well, I'm not sure if you should be a best friend, but be a good friend. The person they want to come to, in case they have some difficulties. Oftentimes, children do not go to their parents just because they're afraid, they have family problems, and they want to go to someone to be heard. And it would be so great if you would be the person who they would come to. The same goes with adults, actually. I have so many adult students, who tell me, who spill all the tea. And they truly need this, especially in this time when we had coronavirus and quarantine, then we have war, everyone is online, you hardly ever see your friends, you just need someone to talk to. The next thing, are you doing okay? Let's talk about well-being. Everybody knows that. You need to do sport, you need to eat healthy, you need to sleep, but rarely does someone does it. Actually, I don't know why. I remember, again, sharing something personal with you guys. Hopefully that will help. I remember last year, at the end of November, maybe the beginning of winter, it was blackout back then. I felt so bad. almost depressed, I would say. I believe many teachers, many people in our country did. I was teaching online. Of course, sometimes my lessons did not work out just because nobody had the light. That's fine. But because of the fact that I was not sure if someone needed me, if I needed someone, I lacked the desire to do anything. I didn't want to do sport, of course. I was depressed. But I started realizing that I am like making 300 steps a day maximum and no sport at all. I was doing everything online, of course. Why should I go anywhere? But I was missing out on the light. I mean, all the metaphors can come here, but like the usual light. And that was so bad. And then I realized something should be changed here, because my back hurt, my eyes ached. I felt so bad. I'm like, okay, I probably need to do something with that. Hopefully, well, not hopefully, thank God I have a park nearby, a forest. You don't need to have it nearby, still you might stick to the life hack I will give you. I just started thinking, I probably want to breathe the fresh air. Just opening the windows doesn't work anymore. So I started going out, and when you go out, why the heck did I go out? Probably I should have a walk. I did. I started having more and more walks, and the strange thing is that the more active I was, the more active I wanted to be. So first it was like 2,000 steps, then it was 5,000 steps. Now it's my habit going for a walk every day. I may have like 30k steps a day because I sometimes don't want to do any sport, but that is some kind of sport, at least something. So doing sport is great. And I know not everybody likes gym, I don't. But do something that you do like. And you need to know what you like. Someone told me that they like dancing. Great. Maybe someone will open up yoga classes. Great. Why not? Just something for your body. We should be feeling great. Of course, eating good, sleeping well, you have to make the sleeping habit good. Also, we see here different categories. Sense of self. Do you know who you are? Have you been thinking of who you are and what you like recently? Positive emotions. Do you have them at all? Do you go somewhere outside? Do you meet with friends? That's just the things that people considering quitting think of all the time. So I would put it like this. It may sound a bit rude, but still. You have your students. They just come to you, they learn, maybe they don't. After they go to another classes, they do learn or they don't learn. After that, they play, they have their work, they go outside and stuff. And what about you? So you come to the class, you teach, and then what? You teach, and then what? You teach, and then what? You check homeworks, and then what? You prepare for the lessons, and then what? What? Do you have anything that you are doing that you like? I feel that that's so philosophical. I want you now to take a breath and tell me if you're alive, if you still follow me. Great. What do you think about everything I've mentioned? Do you have some insights, maybe? Well, if you do, which ones? Don't be shy. Everyone is the same here. We are all teachers. We have, I don't want to say we have the same emotions, but we do. We're different people. Everyone has different kinds of it. We all think about the same things, but, well, in different times, but we do think about that. Yeah, we have to do something great for ourselves, right? Don't forget about yourselves. When I started doing something that I liked, when I started going out, when I started, like, I don't need many friends, but still, when I started doing something for myself, this me time about which everyone is talking, I started understanding that I like teaching more. I'm not that irritated and that sad while preparing for the lessons or checking the homework. I still am a bit irritated and I still am a bit tired, but that's not that much. That's just to an extent, a bit. Yeah, social connections, that's something we've already discussed. You somehow need to connect with people, that's great. Negative emotions. We as teachers 100% have negative emotions, experiences. Do you have someone to talk to? Do you have this community? How do you express those emotions? You can't scream at your children, at your students, at your adults. Well, how? Do you have any ways? Are you passive aggressive? Because if you are, probably you won't have students. If you have private lessons, like group lessons, something. If you do not have those private lessons and you work at school, probably you will have problems with parents, or kids will not like you. And are you sure what you want to do in future? In a year, in 5 years? Are you stuck in the same place? Do you know what's your purpose? Do you know how to grow in your area? That's not for me. If you want to, you can share your ideas in the chat here. But that's not for me, that's for you. That's just for thinking. Yeah, walking in the evenings instead of sleeping. That's a great one. If you sleep at night. If you don't sleep at all, probably that's not good. Firstly, sleeping and eating normal food. Yeah, stop being a 12-year-old. Stop eating sandwiches. Everyone will eat sandwiches, but not that much. Stop eating so much sugar. I know everyone talks about that, but still, start eating more veggies at least. That will make a big difference. Okay, and the last one. Which roles are taken? Maybe something else. You're probably considering quitting. Maybe now you don't. Maybe now you are thinking about that even more. But, well, teachers take lots of roles. We are teachers. We are mentors, organizers, role models. We should be perfect, right? As a teacher of English, German, whatever. You should be the person who knows it perfectly. You need to know everything. You need to be a walking Google. We are role models. We are assessors. Yeah, we test them. We're designers. We want to make our presentations, our work, our lessons beautiful. We're designers. We're counselors. Sometimes we provide psychological support. We don't know how to do that. Maybe some of us do, but we have to. We're advocates. We are innovators. We're motivators. We're continuous learners, and so on. All these roles are good. Everything is great. We take all those roles. But should we stop bearing this burden? Yes, these roles are good, and if you have energy and motivation and inspiration, and if you feel like you want to be the best, why not? Of course, take them all. But in times when you don't feel like doing that, please don't do them, all of them. Your main idea is to be a teacher. So you are not supposed to do it all, especially when you don't feel like doing this. When you don't have what to give to yourself first, There is nothing to give to the others, to your students, to their parents, and so on. To the community too. You are a part of community. You might help other teachers too. Be mothers and psychologists and mothers. Yes, we don't want to be parents, but sometimes we are supposed to be. Yeah, so please don't take those roles if you don't feel like doing that. Your main idea is to be a teacher. So stop bearing all the responsibilities on your shoulders. If you don't like some roles at all, maybe you should consider delegating them. Maybe ask other students to help you out with something. Ask some teachers to help you out with something else. You might need a psychologist yourself in a role of another teacher. So sometimes it's just better to get loose. And only in case you want to delegate the most of your roles, you should probably consider quitting. Only in that way. If you don't like at all what you're doing, if you're thinking, I don't really like being a mentor, an organizer, a role model, assessor, designer, counselor, blah, 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 everything, and you start considering the fact that probably you don't like teaching, and that is the time to think, should I do this at all? But that's okay if you feel like that sometimes. All of us do. All of us get tired. All of us have war outside. All of us sometimes feel depressed or, just feel bad. There's been a rude lady on the street and we feel bad. But if you're thinking about that all the time, I don't know. You have to think about that more. So, we should be everything. What about salary? Right, that's the question. As to the salary, that's probably one of the hardest questions, especially if you're working somewhere in school. And probably you should consider doing something else. You should consider having some extra lessons sometimes, if it's not hard for you, at least. Private lessons, group lessons, something extra. I know it's hard, especially now. But yeah, you should consider doing something with that. You are responsible for your life. You are used to being responsible for everybody else's lives, for students. You all the time help each other. But again, the question remains the same. Are you gonna be responsible for your life? So it's the things that we should face all the time. It's the questions that we should ask ourselves all the time. Okay, I had a situation when my second grade pupil told me that she liked me more than her mother. That was strange. I get it. We can't do anything with that. Literally. There's nothing to do. You should not be a mother to this person. You should probably somehow tell her, of course, it's second grade, she doesn't understand it, but still, you should somehow tell her that she's not your mother, but please be kind to her. Probably she has really bad relationships in the family, and you are the life savior of hers. So yeah, that might feel strange, unusual, but you have to be kind to her. Not kinder than to the others. She's still not your daughter, or son. That's it. Guys, I think that I'm done with everything that I wanted to tell you. I obviously don't want anyone to consider quitting. I'm the person who considered that 1 million times, but still I'm here. And I'm not planning to do that in the future. And I don't want anyone to do that as well. We need teachers in our country, good teachers. But again, as I told you in the very beginning, You should first think about yourself, what you like and what you want from this life. Sometimes this happens, and that's sad, very sad. Sometimes this happens that my colleagues quit just because they got tired. And then they don't know what to do with their life. They start doing at least something, but they do not enjoy it that much as they did teaching people. And they get more and more depressed. And then they're like, okay, I've chosen my way. I'm not a teacher anymore. And then they're like, maybe I should start thinking about teaching as well again. I'm not sure. And that saddens me, really. Don't lose your passion if you are just tired or depressed. Just take a breath, relax, eat some chocolate. Don't eat any chocolate at all and eat only greens. Like do some sport or something. Give yourself a break from doing everything. But don't quit until you feel that you don't like it anymore at all for a long period of time. Now, I would like you to ask questions. Do you have anything to ask me? Any situations that you wanted I would respond? Or anything particular? That would be great. So you have the power to teach. You are superheroes, but you are not gods. That's the main point. Interesting. You're welcome, guys. Any questions? Let's wait a few more minutes. Welcome, you guys. I love being participant here. I want to thank the ones that proposed me to be here. I want to thank you for coming. What do you do when your students tell you they don't like English? It depends on students, on their age category. If that is an adult, I just don't teach them anymore. I stop teaching them. If that's your pupil and you are in school, probably you can't do anything with that. Actually, well, that's about motivation. Probably you should think about the way you create your lessons. Again, I know you're not designer, you're not everything, but maybe you should be a bit of a designer, a bit of a clown, just a bit. Sometimes, maybe you could motivate them to learn. If you just jump everywhere and go from one place to another, doing everything that you can, but still they don't like English, you can't do anything with that. You are not the parent, you are not the person to, like, you cannot enter their brain and make them want it if they don't want it. If I don't like some... Okay, what do I not like? Okay, I told you, I don't like gym. If I don't like gym, like, no matter how many times people will tell me that it's good for my health, I will not go there. That's just it. So whenever we are kids, we're supposed to do something that we don't like because our parents say so we should do it. We can't do anything with that, but still, don't be too strict on yourself. They just don't want to. They just will not do it. The last thing that you could do, if like the last straw is already taken away from you, you can just ask them to be silent if they're too loud in the class situations, in the classroom. To be silent and do their business. Some may say it's not professional, but you will not make them do anything. Okay, things that related to life. Yes, yes. I'm really glad that you liked it, guys. If any questions you might ask me, we have a few more minutes to go. Topical issues. I'm glad that that was topical issue, just because it actually is, and nobody talks about that. Okay. I see no questions left. I see no questions left, and that means that probably would be it. Yep. So I was really glad not to see you, but to read your comments in the chat, hoping you don't lose your inspiration and motivation, but if you do, know that you will find something else, and that's fine. If you are irritated, if you have all the bad emotions about teaching, that's fine. Everybody has it. Just find someone to talk to. Not necessarily the psychologist. Again, psychologists are expensive, right? Journaling, if no one is around. Writing down all your emotions and how you feel about everything. Just maybe create this tiny bonfire. Throw those sheets of papers in there with your thoughts and ideas and your negative emotions. But it would be better, of course, to find another teacher and share the experience and have a good laugh about that. So I was really glad to be here today. Thank you, guys, and see you next time. Bye-bye.